But the question is, do they have what it takes to compete with Michigan at the top of the Big Ten? What a freaking game we had tonight in Lincoln. And even though the refs tried to give it to Michigan State there at the end, Nebraska hangs on, picks up another victory, and they just continue this march on what's been an incredible season for them so far. The first time I watched them play was actually against the Lobos in that Kansas City tournament. And even though they came out absolutely swinging in that game, New Mexico did close it down, but I could just tell there was clearly something with this team. They were running plays, they were getting good shots, they were knocking down threes. And tonight, I think it was just such a good thing again for college basketball, and that it almost feels like this small town high school game, but with amazing talent, good shot making ability. And though the game wasn't perfect, it was very physical. It was a game that was just fun to watch from start to finish. Credit to Nebraska for having to come back on multiple occasions. This wasn't a game that they led from start to finish and had it in the bag. They trailed decently. Michigan State went on multiple runs, and Nebraska was down after the under 4 media timeout. They closed out on another run to win the game. The foul, yes, he did hit his hand. He hit his arm. I get that at the end there. In most situations, though, I don't think refs will call that. Regardless of the situation, Cooper misses the free throw, and Nebraska picks up another huge win in the Big Ten tonight. Two things jump out to us when we look at the stat sheet. Michigan State won the rebounding battle 45-31, which is honestly not a big surprise. That's what Michigan State does. I've seen them play multiple times. It's their bread and butter, specifically with Cooper and Kohler in the paint. And then you've got a guy like Cohen Carr. They've got guys that come off the bench that play really hard. That Michigan State team is good. They're physical, but Nebraska was able just to hold on and hang in there and do what they do well, while Michigan State did what they did well. The other part of this, though, Michigan State, 19 turnovers to Nebraska's 8. That is a recipe for disaster. You have to take care of the basketball. Not only was it Nebraska forcing them into certain situations, which I think sometimes their defense doesn't get a ton of credit at times, but they just held a really good Michigan State team to 56 points, something that we have not seen a lot of teams do this year. The place was rocking. It was absolutely jumping. I also want to shout out Peacock. They have done a phenomenal job this year on covering not just NBA, but college basketball as well. It was great. You could really feel the environment even just watching it on TV. I've got two screens going up because I'm trying to keep track of the Gonzaga and Seattle U game, but my eyes just constantly went towards Nebraska, Michigan State. It was such a good game. It was so fun to watch. Nebraska now 14-0 on the season, 3-0 in the Big Ten, picking up a top 10 win this time at home. That place is going to be really difficult for anybody in the Big Ten to go to. But the question is, do they have what it takes to compete with Michigan at the top of the Big Ten? I think that's a huge ask. Michigan is really separating themselves, not just in the Big Ten, but really with the rest of the country. I think them and Arizona have clearly looked like the best two teams in the country this year. They picked up another massive blowout win over USC tonight. But Nebraska fans, get in the comments. Let me know, can this Nebraska team legitimately have a shot at winning this Big Ten regular season title or even in the tournament in March? Nebraska has now beat Michigan State. They beat Illinois on the road. And at the end of this month, on January 27th, Tuesday night, they will travel to Ann Arbor into what could potentially be the regular season Big Ten championship game. It's going to be a great game. Shout out to Nebraska. Shout out to Lincoln. You guys looked amazing tonight. So it was so fun to watch that game. I'm so impressed. I've seen this already at the beginning of the year. I think the rest of the country is now catching up to what you guys have been doing in Lincoln already. Shout out Nebrasketball. Get in the comments, Nebraska fans, how you feeling? Michigan State fans, if you're on this, what are your thoughts on how that game ended? Hit like to see the basketball, share the video, hit subscribe to enter your name in the portal, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.